Welcome back to another episode of the Arc Switch Survival Guide. Have you ever found a really awesome high-level dino that you want, but you're in a really dangerous area like this mountain in the middle of the redwoods? Well, today I am going to show you how to use an Argentavis to extract good dinosaurs that you want to tame and bring them safely back to your base, where you can drop them into a taming pen and tame them up really easily. And we are going to try to tame this really high-level Ankylosaur, because even though we already have a couple Ankylosaurs back on Herbivore Island, it's really far away, and I want a high-level breeding pair of Ankylosaurs to breed some super babies that I can carry up to the mountains with my Argent and get tons of crystal, obsidian, and metal. So be sure to watch this whole episode and learn the really easy way to tame just about any dino that an Argentavis can carry. So before I head up to the mountains looking for an Ankylosaur to tame, I need to get my base ready, and I've got to park my Tapehara so it's far away from the taming pen and doesn't accidentally get a little backlash. Hey, come on, man, get your head out of my face. That thing is way too big. I need to disable ally looking on that guy because his head just covers up the whole screen. Your head's too big. Alright, now these Plant Species X turrets need to be turned off, so I'm putting all of them to sleep, because if I fly down here with a Ankylosaur in my talons, they're actually going to see it as a wild dinosaur, which it is, and they'll start shooting it down as soon as I drop it. I don't think they'll actually shoot it down from the bird, but as soon as it goes in the taming pen, it'll die, and that would defeat the whole purpose of bringing him down here. So I'm going to head up to the mountain now that the base is all ready, and oh gosh, just pooped in my face. Come on, bird. This thing is a menace. That is one of the dangers of Ark. I mean, there's a lot of dangerous things out here, but getting pooped on your head is definitely one of them. So I am flying up above the trees in the redwood forest because there's all kinds of dangerous stuff, but the thylacoleos are probably the worst thing in the redwoods because they climb up the trees and they just sit there on the edge of the trunks, and they will just fly across the screen, knock you off of your bird, and kill you. So definitely stay away from all of the redwood trees. But this Argent has a ton of stamina. That's one of the reasons it was worth going through all the trouble to tame such a high-level Argent. And he's got... Oh, there's another nice one over there. I like the black color, but this white one is really cool. So it's got about 1,000 stamina, and that's enough to keep it from ever having to rest until it makes it well up into the mountain. Now, there's a ton of metal on this mountain, but you'll notice there's also a lot of crystal deposits. And the crystal is what I really am interested in, because there's not a ton of mountains that have a whole lot of crystal, but if I can use a good Ankylosaur, and there he is. Okay. If I can use a good Ankylosaur, I can get tons of crystal because they get a lot of it. So I'm just checking. Oh, there's a scorpion up there. Got to be careful of him. Now, I'm not worried about anything killing this Argent because it's got a couple thousand health, but a scorpion can knock it unconscious, so I do have to be careful of those scorpions. So I always have trouble getting this to zoom correctly. I wish you could zoom in and out more easily using a spyglass. But, oh, check this out. That red plant right there is a good place you can get rare flowers if you have access to a mountain and a good gathering dino for plants. And that is perfect. That is a 118 male Ankylosaur, which is exactly what I'm hoping for. So I wanted to get a high-level male, and I'm just using my left trigger to swoop down and pick him up, and then I'm flying way out of here as fast as I can, because there's a lot of Argents and lots of dangerous stuff spawning on this mountain. So I can actually carry this guy in my talons all the way back to my base, and I'm able to sprint right now because I have so much stamina on this Argent, but a lot of Argents will not have as much stamina, so you may have to fly without sprinting. You use a little bit more stamina than usual when you're carrying a dino like this Ankylosaur. But he's not able to hurt me right now. I got him well on his back, and I'm avoiding the sharp end. So we seem to be in good shape. Sometimes a dino will still be able to attack you when you pick it up, and if that happens, just drop it and try to pick it up again. And, you know, avoid the sharp end, like its teeth and its spiky tail and all that stuff, and you should be fine. So we can see the base here and everything's going just fine, but I did pack a bunch of stimulants in the inventory of this Argent just in case I ran out of stamina while flying, and as long as he's got a lot of meat that he can eat, you can just get a whole bunch of stamina back and be able to keep flying all the way back. So I'm going to try to drop this guy, and sometimes if you run into a wall like that, oh, that did not work. Okay, whoop, picking him back up here. Sometimes if you run him into a wall, it'll drop him perfectly into the taming pen, but this time I think I'm going to make a lower pass, and then I'll just hit the left trigger to drop him specifically into that taming pen, and that time it worked. Great. Now, sometimes I'll build a wall against the taming pen just to make sure he doesn't accidentally get onto the roof and start killing my plants and Tapehara and all that stuff. But it looks like we've got this in a really good position here. And I am going to pull out my Tranquilizer Arrows. Now, I've got Tranquilizer Darts with my rifle, but they cost a lot of metal. And it's a lot easier for me to just shoot down a high level using a whole bunch of Tranquilizer Arrows instead. Now I'm only 2 stories up, so he may still be able to hit me from here. Oh, yep, that did it. Okay, so he is still able to reach me. Some dinos can, some cannot. I was hoping since he's so short he wouldn't actually be able to hit me, but it looks like he can. But that's another nice thing about the design of this base is I've got some good perches that are really high up, and I think even a T-Rex would have trouble hitting me way up here. Now if I was taming a Rex, I would definitely not have my Tapehara on the roof. I've lost a lot of plants from taming a Rex in my taming pen like this. But looks like he's already running away here, so that's pretty nice. He looks like a little pincushion with all these arrows sticking out, so he's now got even more spikes. But an Ankylosaur has an armored back, so I'm trying to hit him in the head as much as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this because this will take a while to knock this guy out. He is a level 118, and I'm not using the most effective tranquilizers. I'm just using the easiest ones to make. And I've got a pretty much unlimited supply of narcotics that I can make because I'm growing narco berries on top of the roof, and every time I need them, I've got like a couple hundred just sitting there in the crop plot, and I can just pick them up and make all the narcotics I need. So he should be going down pretty soon, so I'll slow this back down again. And I think any minute now he should actually pass out. He's been running away for a while, which usually means he's just about there we go. So now we've got this guy unconscious, and a good thing about Ankylosaurs is even at a high level, they take a very long time to wake back up. So I'll get some food in his inventory, and we're going to start actually taming him. Now I know I've already got a couple of Ankylosaurs, but they're pretty far away, and I don't want to have to fly all the way back to Herbivore Island to, bring those guys back. And I wanted a very high-level male to breed with my high-level female and make some super Ankylosaurs. So that should get him started with mejoberries. Hey, free cementing paste. I love having these wild snails in my base. I did a whole episode on how to do that, so check that out. And I think it was the episode right before this one. I showed you how to pick up wild snails and carry them back to your base. So I'm going to drop some potatoes on this guy's inventory because they are more effective than just the mejoberries. But in order to really tame this guy up fast with a very high level at the end of the tame, I want to actually use some kibble. So skipping ahead, I did some inventory on what I need to make that regular kibble, which I will use to tame this Ankylosaur, and it looks like I'm going to need to run back to my other base and get some supplies there before I can actually cook some of that kibble. So I am going to top off this guy's torpidity, and I've got a bunch of biotoxin that I've been keeping in the fridge. Now I have a whole episode on how to get this biotoxin from jellyfish in the ocean, and I'll put a link in the description for how to get that, but this is a very effective and helpful way to tame stuff. Each biotoxin is worth about, 3 or 4 narcotics, so just by grabbing a bunch of that stuff and harvesting it all together, I've just been keeping it in my fridge and using it to keep most of my tames knocked out while they're taming up. So that's a very effective way to do that. It's extremely cost effective, and that lets me save most of my narcotics for using them to actually make the Tranquilizer Arrows and Trank Darts that I'm going to use. So Before I head out, I'm going to grab a few more potatoes just to make sure that this Ankylosaur does not run out of better food, and that should have him in pretty good shape with about, I don't know, 15 more of those guys. So the Mejo berries are reasonably effective for taming an Ankylosaur. The potatoes are much more effective than the Mejo berries, but Kibble is what's going to really get him tamed up fast and let his final level be much, much higher. So I think I should be just about good to go, and I'm going to grab a quick snack for me too. Everybody's eating potatoes today. It is just one of those potato days. You ever have days like that where you just really crave potatoes? I know I do. So we are going to head back up to my base after I make sure everything is squared away here. And I just realized I need to wake up my Plant Species X turrets. Now, that turret right in the middle does not have a line of sight with the taming pen, so that's safe to keep that one woken up. But if I were to wake up some of my other turrets, they might start shooting the Ankylosaur and kill him while he's taming, so still being very careful of the line of sight issues here. Now, I got some pretty big Paracers down there, and I will eventually be actually taming one. I kind of like that red color over there, but, you know, I think I'm going to tame one thing at a time today, and Paracers are not an easy thing to tame at a high level. So I have quite a few of them over here, though. I'll have to come back when I'm ready to tame one. I'm eventually going to teach you how to build an entire base on the back of a Parasaur, and that is super fun. I did that on my Ragnarok series, and it's really great to be able to have your entire walking base just follow you everywhere you go. Now, I'm taking the slightly longer way home because I'm keeping an eye out for snails, and if I see a snail on the way, I'm just going to pick it up and carry it back to my base, because you can never have too many wild snails in your base. They're very helpful. And this spot right here is where I saw a snail earlier, but it looks like he's gone now. So on my right is Metal Mountain. This is the classic place to get metal at a low level on Ark, and my base is actually built right across from that mountain. So another reason I want to have some good high-level Ankylosaurs is so that I can carry them through my Argent right across this river and up to the Metal Mountain, where I can get tons of metal and a decent amount of crystal too. So after I get all the crystal from the middle of the redwoods, I'm going to head back over here and show you my pretty nice setup for gathering tons of metal, and it will allow me to just do that without actually having to spend much time on the ground. So I'm going to grab some supplies and I will be right back. And we're back. I already had some kibble made from the episode where I taught you how to use the new kibble system on Ark, and I'll put a link in the description to that video. It is a pretty helpful guide for all of the new kibbles with a new kibble system. And on my way back home, since I did not see any snails earlier, I'm going to fly a little closer to Metal Mountain and kind of get a survey of what this looks like as far as predators. We've got quite a few little raptors running around, but nothing crazy dangerous over here, so I think I'll have a pretty easy time flying my new Ankylosaur over here and picking up some metal. Now, another reason I wanted a brand new Ankylosaur at a high level is because the one that I've been working with has been putting nothing but melee damage into her stats. So she has something like 300 weight and like 700 melee damage. It's something ridiculous. So pretty much every stat that she has been going straight into melee damage, which is great for gathering the most metal possible from every metal node, which is what I wanted earlier. And I was bringing Parasaurs to carry the metal back, so it wasn't really an issue to have her have really high weight. But when I'm flying an Ankylosaur all the way out to another mountain, I want to have it have really high weight so that I can load it up with tons of metal, which is reduced in weight by 75% when I put it on the Ankylosaur's inventory. So that's going to be really helpful to have this male have nothing but weight stats. And then hopefully when I breed the babies, we'll end up with baby Ankylosaurs with super high weight and super high melee damage, so they fill up with the maximum amount of metal really fast, and then they can carry tons of it back on each first trip. So let me skip ahead, and I've gotten all of the materials together for making this regular kibble, which I will be using to tame this Ankylosaur, and we should be able to tame him up very quickly when we do that. So I'll drop in all the ingredients to make one regular kibble, just to go over that real quick. So we are going to need 1 cooked meat, 1 medium egg, which Ankylosaur eggs and Ichthyornis eggs both fit the bill for that, 2 corn, 2 potatoes, and some water. And when we get all of that together along with 5 fiber, it's going to just cook that up and turn that into a regular kibble, which is what we need for taming this Ankylosaur. Now, if you are playing this on Switch or Arc Mobile who have not gotten the kibble update yet, you are going to need to make Dilo egg kibble in order to tame this guy. And to do that, you need 1 Dilo egg, 1 lemon, 1 cooked meat jerky, 2 mejo berries, 3 fiber, and 1 thing of water. And that will give you the kibble that you need if you're using Arc Mobile or Arc Switch. So I'm also making a primitive Ankylosaur saddle, and it's pretty easy to make, not a whole lot of materials that you need, and skipped ahead quite a bit, and he is now tamed up. So we'll go ahead and just give him a quick, easy nickname, and we'll check him out and see what his stats turned out to be. So let's tell this guy to stop moving and turn him on passive, which is really important for all of my new dinos. So I ended up using, I think, like over 10 kibbles to tame this guy up, but I had plenty of materials, so it was pretty easy and fast to do that. And it was real easy to keep him unconscious, too. Their torpidity does not drop too fast, so he was able to stay unconscious real easily on this guy. So I just put away some of my stuff, and let's move this guy out of the door and we'll check his stats and see what we ended up with. So even though I'm not super thrilled with his stats in melee damage or weight, he's still going to be a good breeding partner for our really awesome Ankylosaur that we've been leveling up this whole time. And in the next episode, we are going to fly this guy up to the mountain in the middle of the redwood forest and show you how to get crazy amounts of crystal from that mountain, and a really good spot to get that. So if this video was helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel, and be sure to enable notifications so you will know when our next ARC guide comes out. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching this video from the ARC Survival Guide. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more great guides like this one. ARC is an amazing game, but there is so much to learn before you can really enjoy it. We are dedicated to bringing you high-quality guides, tutorials, and Let's Play videos that are fun, helpful, clean, and suitable for the entire family. There's a tutorial in this series for everything we have done so far in this video. Check out these playlists for more episodes from this series and other guides to help you enjoy your journey on ARC.